We've got changes in our forecast a little more significant than we did 24 hours ago. Thank you for being a part of the program this Tuesday, which is the 6th day, of course, of February. Another nice day in the neighborhood. We topped out right around 50 degrees or so. We'll check in with current conditions in a few moments. Talk about temperatures still climbing into the 60s. Almost there tomorrow and definitely getting thereafter, but thereafter as well. We have shower chances, rain chances, and the word snow is back in the 7-day. Again, more detail on that in a few moments. Several fatal auto accidents in eastern Kentucky in just the past few days. Going back to Sunday in Pike County, a single car crash claimed the life of 52-year-old Billy McFarland. He was driving his Dodge pickup truck when he went off the road. His truck struck an embankment. He was pronounced dead at the scene. This happened in Stopover Sunday night in Pike County. While yesterday in Knott County, we now know that a person was killed in a motorcycle crash there. Kentucky State Police receiving the call of a two-vehicle accident on Kentucky 160. This is in Lit Car, where it happened before 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Last reports say that 65-year-old Steve Howard, a Hazard resident, was riding his motorcycle. He was traveling southbound when a passenger car traveling north crossed the center line and struck him head-on. He was pronounced dead at an area hospital. That happening sometime around 4 o'clock yesterday, and we're still awaiting information. We've had everyone at the Louisa office of the Big Sandy News waiting to try to hear some details. I might have some hopefully before I leave you, but all I know is that a still unidentified person died in a crash this morning at around 7 o'clock on US 23 at mile marker 5.5 in Lawrence County. If you're going towards Louisa, it will be before you get to Louisa with a junction, I believe, of 645 around there. We do know that a tractor trailer was traveling southbound. It crossed the median and hit a vehicle head-on, and both lanes were closed until shortly after 2 o'clock. The person who was driving the passenger vehicle died. No information about that individual in any form or fashion as of now, but we're making one more check that I hope to have possibly something before I leave you at the end of the program. Again, 23 closed for a number of hours today in Lawrence County. While the current Kentucky General Assembly is considering, of course, a number of bills, one of those being CAR, that I reported to you some days ago, CAR, the Crisis Aversion and Rights Retention Bill, the most recent effort in our state's capital to try to address the situation of guns being in the hands of individuals who may be considered a threat to themselves or to someone else. A situation in McGoffin County has arisen where a man has been taken into custody. Sheriff Meade says the investigation is ongoing, but in this particular case, he says it does appear as though there was already paperwork in place to prevent him from having a weapon. Nevertheless, a long rifle was used to, as I told you yesterday afternoon in one of my reports, used to on multiple occasions fire into a Salt Lick residence in McGoffin County, with individuals nearby on at least one occasion, with Sheriff Bill Meade confirming that there's been at least a couple of different incidents and actually a couple of different locations possibly related to the same shooter. He says that their first shots fired complaint was from a residence on Salt Lick last week on Tuesday, I believe. They responded, they canvassed the area and could not find anyone or really any hard evidence to lead them to someone, and no one was injured. However, yesterday, they received another call.
We received another shots fired complaint at the same location. Whenever I arrived, there was an obvious gunshot that had entered the back of the residence and came through the front and went across the road, striking a metal garage across the road. I was able to recover a spent round at that location. We had received some information on a person of interest, and upon investigating further, the individual has a history of mental health issues, and the individual was seen recently in the area with a long rifle. We were able to locate the individual, and through the course of our interview that later led to the obtaining of a search warrant, we were able to locate several rifles at his residence. It's our belief that that these are probably the weapons that was used, and we will send them off for identification.
Currently, Meade says the suspect has been detained for being a danger to himself and others, and that more charges are pending. And there is also an investigation into a similar incident at another location where there are several bullet holes in the roof of that home or structure. And to clarify, he says that during the first shooting at the residence on Salt Lick, there were residents at home, but in another portion of the home from where the bullet tore through. On the second shooting at that residence in Salt Lick, there were individuals standing outside across from that residence in the same direction that the bullet traveled towards another building after it was shot into the home. Still a lot to cover, including a trip to Georgetown in just a second. Cooked cabbage is back at your Sagersville Lee's, and so is the low-carb plate. I mean, yes, you can call it a low-carb plate because it is. There's barely any carbs in it, but it's also one of the tastiest meals we've got. And the healthiest, low-carb or not. With juicy roast strips, our famous green beans, and yes, that tasty cooked cabbage. A taste and flavor all its own, and only at your Sagersville Lee's.
Welcome to 2024. So while you're out breaking all those resolutions you made, Appalachian Wireless will help you keep the most important ones, saving money and staying connected. Appalachian Wireless is starting the new year with up to $600 off select devices. And that's with a new or renewed line on an Appalachian Advantage Unlimited plan or mix and match. Up to $600 off. So stay connected in 2024. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless. Terms and conditions apply. See AppalachianWireless.com for details.
Someone dies in the U.S. every 7 minutes from an overdose, and over half of the population gets or takes pills from a friend or relative. And about 46 million and counting are exposed to narcotics in their drinking water. So don't toss them, flush them, or leave them lying around. Safely dispose of your unneeded meds anytime at Parkway Pharmacy,
where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
Platinum award-winning singer-songwriter Chris Janson is coming to the MAC, and he'll be playing hits such as Buy Me a Boat.
But it can buy me a boat. It can buy me a truck to pull.
Fix a Drink.
But I can fix a drink.
And one of his most recent hits, Good Vibe.
Regardless of what season it is, you can always find fan favorites of the Ville, Salyersville, at the seasonal shop. For the dudes, Duke and Cannon, Turn Rose, and more. And always something for all the Hornet fans. And for all the ladies, it's always Wildcat season, and it all changes daily. That's why you always have to make a stop at the seasonal shop just next door, the Fraser's Prater Drug Store. The best place for all your prescription, over-the-counter, and Radio Shack needs, with some of the very best hometown lunch specials and treats. They're a pair like you can find nowhere else but in Salyersville. We've got a lot of folks here in McGoffin County in the viewing area who have and who are or who will work at Toyota Manufacturing Kentucky at some point in their lives. Before today, an $8 billion investment into that facility. As many as 550,000 vehicles rolling off of the assembly line every year, 13 million and counting to date, 1,300 acres, 9,400 employees, and I think it was 9 million square feet or so in the facility. All big numbers, with some more big numbers today, as Toyota announced a $1.3 billion investment into its largest plant, which sits in Georgetown, Kentucky.
Hey everybody, it's Andy. More good news for our red-hot economy in Kentucky. Toyota has announced that it's going to invest another $1.3 billion in its Georgetown facility. That is the largest facility globally for Toyota, and it's in our Commonwealth. It comes on top of almost $600 million that were announced last year in new investments. For a plant that has 9,400 employees, this ensures a bright future and steady employment for so many Kentucky families. Toyota also helps us, along with our other manufacturers, to be an automotive leader, and the fact that we're going to see EVs being produced at this plant, that battery pack assembly is going to go on at Toyota, along with other battery plants we're building in other parts of the state. It shows we are not just going to be an automotive leader. but we want to be the automotive leader. So good news for Kentucky.
That's $1.3 billion announced today for future electrification efforts, as you heard the governor say, including assembly of an all-new 3-row battery-powered electric SUV for the market here in the United States. The investment supporting the previously announced future BEV assembly at Toyota, Kentucky. And it also adds, as you heard, a battery pack assembly line to the facility, with batteries being supplied by Toyota Battery Manufacturing, North Carolina. Toyota maintains this as well, also committed to investing in its operational communities, primarily focusing on education and workforce development. Since making Kentucky home nearly 4 decades ago, more than $154 million in local donations continue to make sizable impacts in the Bluegrass State. Their partners and support of 48 education and workforce training initiatives last year alone as well helped strengthen their foundation for their future. 550,000 cars a year, and they also produce engines for those cars and for others, manufacturing about 600,000 engines at the plant, with each car rolling off the assembly line in about 20 hours or so, all beginning as a roll of steel. Real quickly, here's tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau calendar. With a reminder, there's still time to get kids in line tomorrow for the McGoffin County 4-H Clover Buds Club. Club is for grades K to 3 to learn about 4-H and involvement in community service early and have a lot of fun. Call 349-3216. They meet tomorrow, 3:30 to 4:30. You've got time. They will meet Thursday, that being the McGoffin County 4-H After School Club for students ages 9 to 18. 3:30 till 5, and that is Thursday. This is an after-school club focusing on arts, crafts, cooking, animals, robotics, communications, nature, leadership, and more. I just can't say enough about 4-H. The Water into Wine Food Pantry will be distributing tomorrow. It's their first of their 2 regular commodity dates for the month of February, 9 till 11, and then later on the 21st will be their next and last regular commodity day for the month, and their senior commodity day will be that week as well on Thursday the 22nd. And real quickly, birthdays and anniversaries. We love to have them here in the program. If you want birthdays, birth announcements, wedding announcements, and the like, anniversaries printed in the paper, we love to see them there too. Where they're a great keepsake and a great part of history that we like to keep going. And, of course, send those to Heather at SagersvilleIndependent.com. Going to funeral service announcements, just announced by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Arrangements are pending at this hour for 93-year-old Geneva Howes of Sagersville. She passed away yesterday at Prestonsburg Healthcare. Again, arrangements to be announced soon. And turning to Johnson County, 60-year-old Helen Louise Pinson of Hager Hill passed away on Thursday of last week. Services were held yesterday. She's survived by 2 sisters, an uncle, 3 nieces, 7 nephews, and several great-nephews and great-nieces. And 68-year-old Roy Douglas Blair of Denver, Kentucky, passed away Tuesday of last week at his home. Services were held Sunday over the weekend, survived by his sister-in-law, Angela Hicks Blair, special niece Jessica Hope Blair, niece and caretaker Brittany Shandell Hicks Lowe, and Richard Lowe of Hager Hill. Again, services held Sunday in his honor. You've seen the forecast, right? You know what season it is, so it is time to get ready. With New Year deals that are worth up to $200 off a new set of tires, and get your car running like new with only a $35 state-of-the-art computer diagnosis, and save all the payments for later with 6 months same as cash at Conley Tire and ConleyTire.net.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in Kentucky.
I believe in small-town values.
And Mom and Dad and the things they handed down.
I believe some of the best people in the world are farmers.
I believe in insurance that protects families, homes, and cars.
I believe in always finding a way to do what you love.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
I am Kentucky.
Sagersville National Bank hopes to help you start the new year with financial freedom and peace of mind. From new services like Apple and Google Pay with your debit card to their more than century of being dedicated to being your personal or business banking institution, they're here for you with digital, phone, or in-person banking at both locations. They're where every day starts, it's made, and it ends. From hitting the floor to hitting the road and back, your feet carry the day's duties. And if you're hurting from what might be a work or sports or stress-related fracture you don't even know about, diabetic, or that all too often heel pain that just won't go away, or any type of pain or discomfort or in need of a quick update on high school basketball in the viewing area, ladies and gentlemen, we are down to 7, 8, around that number of games left in regular season play for everyone at this point. As for McGoffin County and the Hornets, they were on the road last night to Martin County, a big district matchup. The second time they've met Martin County in just a few days. And as hot as the Hornets have been, they cannot get around the Cardinals. They have played them twice now. Their 2 scheduled games in the regular season. They came up short by 4 back on the 30th of January. That was here at home for the Hornets. And they fell short by 5 last night. Some slow shooting early on. It was 39-28 in favor of Martin County at the end of the first. It was all tied up at 53 at the end of the third. Tied at 68, down to 151 to go. At 48 seconds left, it was 72-70 Martin County. They were on the free throw line. Zane Whitaker, Aiden Barnett fouled out late, and it was a 5-point win for Martin County last night. The boys are next in action here at home tomorrow night, hosting Ashland Blazer, Lady Hornet basketball right there in front of you. 37-62 final score at Floyd Central. Of course, that was back on Saturday. They've had a little time to rest and recuperate. They're at Paintsville this Friday night. Tip-off set for 7:30. Lady Hornets looking at a big district game ahead. Johnson Central and the Golden Eagles. It was on Saturday that they hosted East Ridge in the Kentucky High School Basketball Hall of Fame Glory Road show. 90-66. That win puts the boys from Central 2 wins in a row, 10-7 on the season. Their district, they're 2-2, of course, in the 57th. And the boys from Central are at Prestonsburg tonight. Tip-off set for 7:30. Lady Eagle basketball and Coach Hicks, a win. Shocker. I mean, it's simple math for the girls at Central. 20-1 on the season. Their only loss was that one that came from somebody out of state back in early January. 20-1. That's after a 64-44 district win over crosstown rival Paintsville, and that's been back on last Friday. The girls from Central hosting Martin County tomorrow night. Tip-off set for 7:30. That will be a good one. Paintsville Tiger basketball came up short 64-69 against Betsy Lane last night. That was at Betsy Lane. Boys from Paintsville will be at McGoffin County, as we mentioned a few minutes ago. I didn't know. That's right. That's Ashland, after Ashland Blazer this Friday night. The boys from Paintsville will be here at McGoffin. 10-11 right now for the boys from Paintsville on the season. Lady Tiger basketball, 44-64 final score against Johnson Central. Did cover that earlier. That was on the second. They are hosting Prestonsburg. That game is tonight, and that'll be another exciting basketball game. Hosting Prestonsburg 7:30. The Lady Tigers right now 10-9. They're still looking for their first district win. Lawrence County and the Bulldogs, a win 71-54 over Lewis County. That puts the boys at 18-4 in the 58th district. They're 4-1 in the district as well. They're at Floyd Central tonight. Turning to Lady Bulldog action, of course, another viewing area high school basketball team. Their game on last Friday at Betsy Lane saw them bring home another win, 54-48 final score. They're rolling 13-8 right now, 4-1 in the 58th district, and they are to be at Floyd Central tonight. Tip-off set for 6 o'clock for the ladies, and of course it's a doubleheader tonight for the boys and girls of Lawrence County. Before we go to your weather forecast, there is a big event coming up. It's coming up later on in April. They're already making plans for it in Kentucky and several other states where it will be visible. Not from our portion of the state. You'll have to get in a car or whatever mode of transportation you so want to use and do a little driving. But the total solar eclipse of April the 8th is getting closer, and there are preparations being made. Technically, it looks as though there will be 13 states that this solar eclipse will travel over, and they're expecting about 150,000 people to visit several western Kentucky counties just to get a glimpse of it. It will last about 3 minutes or so. We'll be talking about it a little bit later. That's your thing. You want to mark it on your calendar if you haven't already. Of course, a total solar eclipse will impact 8 Kentucky counties and clip portions of 4 others. The totality phase will enter Kentucky around 2 o'clock that afternoon in parts of Fulton and Hickman counties before rolling right on across Ballard, McCracken, Livingston, Crittenden, Union, and Henderson counties along the Ohio River. It also clips small portions of Carlisle, Graves, Webster, and Davis counties. It will last about 3 minutes in Kentucky, and of course is when the Earth, Moon, and Sun are aligned, and only the corona of the Sun is visible like a big halo. And we'll show you the graph and the map and everything else, and remind you. And trip I'd like to make, probably won't get the opportunity to do so, as it's going to be 2 o'clock in the middle of an afternoon, and I'll be getting ready to be here with you. But nevertheless, interesting. As is your 7-day, brought to you, as always, by Licking Valley RECC. As for your Tuesday, we topped out at exactly 56.1 here at the studios in downtown Sagersville earlier today. We are at 43 right now, and of course falling on our way down to another chilly night at 24 degrees. Let's see, sunrise 7:33, and sunset, we're now past the 6 o'clock hour. That's getting later every night, 6:02 for sunset, and I like it, getting lighter all the time. Hopefully warmer. Winter's still got a little juice in the tank, though, I'm thinking, and it's going to show up here in a second. So tonight, 24, mostly clear and a calm wind outside to be felt. Tomorrow for your Wednesday, sunny, close to 60. Might even hit it in a few spots. 58, though, expected tomorrow. Tomorrow night, still going to plummet back down to the mid-20s at 26 expected. But still sunny, calm, dry, a few clouds tomorrow night. 58, 26, your high, your low. Thursday looks to be the warmest one of the short run at least, and that will have us seeing right around 62, partly sunny skies. It's going to be breezy. Winds are going to start to come out of the south, southwest, 5 to 10, up to 16, 18 or so. That's going to be blowing in some rain chances tomorrow night, mainly after 10. Wind chances will continue to grow as well. 1/10 of an inch or so on the high side, I think, during the overnight, and then some shower chances up until about 1 o'clock or so on your Friday. Not a big rain maker, but a chance of rain Thursday night into your Friday. Friday, 61 and 50, lingering clouds, and again, a 40% chance of some showers that will likely be part of a pattern into your weekend for another system. 61 and 44 for your Saturday. We've got rain likely, the bulk of which mainly between 8 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon, and then kind of spotty thereafter into your Saturday night. Then we'll fall down to 44. For your Sunday, we'll kind of linger to the 40 to 50% chance of rain on and off throughout your Sunday. Mostly cloudy skies, and that's a trend there you'll notice with temperatures falling thereafter. 56, mostly cloudy, 50% chance of rain Sunday. We'll go down to the mid-40s, mid to upper 40s on Monday. Same scenario, mostly cloudy, a 50% chance of rain. Tuesday of next week, we're firmly in the mid-40s with maybe a little sun, but also a little chance of some rain and a little chance of some snow as we're back below freezing again that night and the next morning. And that'll do it for tonight. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.